and to assess the organization to put in place this mechanism, cyber security crisis, and be able to means the point is that the who the person will be responsible for overseeing all this. So responsibility should be uh, fixed beforehand. And the mandate, it is mandated by the government to so that the different government organization drop their own sectoral cyber crisis plans in line with the cyber crisis management plan of the nation, and certain conduct mock exercises with ministry and organizations, and we also seek compliance information whether those plans have been implemented or not. So cyber crisis management document should contain what should the concept of cyber crisis, what could be the nature of crisis, cyber threat landscape. We will see after the after slides what are those. Building cyber security capabilities, incident prevention measures, crisis recognition, mitigation, and post incident activity. So we can see that this plan is not just about how to you will respond to a cyber crisis, but it is consist of everything from start to what you learn from that exercise. Now, what are the different what is structure should be? The structure should be first that implementing the information security management system ISMS. It is based on ISO 27001. You will see in the next means next courses you will see what is that. And the planning and preparation for incident handling, incident response activities. It is very important because the main core of the cyber crisis is that how you respond to that those crises and how you recover from that. So what will be response in your first hour and next 24 hours. So why this is important, because the task or the use of this cyber crisis management plan is to make we suppose that a crisis happens, then there is no any chaos, and you know that what the person's sitting there, he knows that what to do and how to come back to normal activities. So again we will see the concept we already seen that it is for prepare for, respond to, and begin to coordinate recovery from a cyber incident. This is the main concept. Now we'll come out to the nature of cyber crises and contingencies. Nature of cyber crisis can be of variety of types. We can see in the slide. It could be the targeting, scanning, probing, or reco of the network and IT infrastructures. It could be the large scale defacement of website. It could be the any malicious uh, software code like virus, trojans, worms, botnets, malware affecting mobile devices, denial of service attack, DNS attack, financial fraud, threat to emerging technologies like IoT, big data. Means everything whatever we can see in organization, there is threat to everything. Like we can see in the IoT or big data, whatever the new technologies are coming up, but those technologies are not developed in the secure environment, so they are vulnerable to security threats. And finally we see that attacks on ICS and SCADA systems. IC and SCADA system mainly are used in means companies which manufacture things. So the manufacturing, now we also see that those manufacturing have shifted to the IT, means information technology. Their all system and become online, so they have also become a threat. And in the slide we can see that mostly every organization in India, critical sectors are under the means cyber attacks like defense, energy, finance, health, space, information technology, transportation, everything. And we are also seeing that every threat to the means cyber threat to our Indians organization are increasing. In the case of COVID-19 also pandemic, we have seen that the different threat actors are mean trying to inflate everything, trying to get access to, because we know that in the work from home scenario, in the COVID-19 situation, everybody is working from home. So the devices which are being used to work, those are also vulnerable because they may be your own devices or they are using the public Wi-Fi networks. So that the attack probability has increased very much. So we must take care of those things also. So what could be the threat landscape? Threat landscape is that how could be our systems, our devices, or our network could be affected. So in the threat landscape, the first is the attack targets. What could be the attack targets? Already we know that the attack target could be the critical infrastructures, business intelligence, personal identifying information. And who could be the attack actors? Means who are the elements who are going to attack our infrastructure? That could be the nation state from other countries, cyber criminals, hacking groups, malicious insiders. Malicious insiders are also a big threat, because we know that the people who are inside the organization, they can also leak the information, they can help others to gain access to our network. So we need to take care of that also. Then what could be the attack motives could be generally financial frauds, disruption of services, cyber espionage. And then the how they could attack our system, they could attack by exploiting the vulnerabilities, through social engineering, through ignorant users, because we know that most of the users who are using internet or mail services or using the internet, the general public are not aware about how the attackers take advantage of their ignorance and enter into the system. So we must take care of that, and we organize awareness programs so that no problem is faced in future. Now building cyber security capabilities, how we can build a good cyber posture. So there are the basically 5 basic things we must keep in mind for having a very good cyber security postures. The first thing, at inventory of devices and softwares. This is very important, because in any organization you must be aware of that what are the different devices, including those devices which are mobile like laptops, even the pen drives. You should be able to know that what devices your company is having and what software you are using. Because suppose that any device is using certain softwares which is not approved by your company, so that may be a malware or something else. So you must be knowing that each devices what softwares are running. And the second is point is that there should be control use of administrative privilege in every devices network or simple computers. You should be who the person is using those devices, means whatever the access they should know, they should get only those access, mean need to know basis. They should not get any unrestricted access to our data centers or our backend data services, so that there is no kind of breach kind of situation. Then the third point is that secure configuration of hardware and software. This is very important, because you can buy a very good hardware, you can buy firewall, you can buy IDS, you can buy IPS, but the main thing is that you have to configure it properly. If not configured properly, then devices may become useless. So the device configuration is the utmost important, and you will always have to ensure that those devices are periodically updated with the firmware updates, or if any security breach is found, then they are patched regularly. And then should have malware defense. A very good antivirus should be installed in your software, in your computer, so that if any malware is there, they can be easily found out, and it should be always be updated regularly. And finally, the vulnerability and patch management. There should be a mechanism where you are able to act on the cybersecurity alerts, because as certain we are always providing different kind of cyber security advisories, alerts. So the person in your IT team who are always able to look those advisories or alerts, and they should able to act upon it. They should consult the vendors, and whatever the patch is needed, they should properly implement it. These are the 5 basic things. So if these things are maintained, then you can make ensure that you are less vulnerable to your any cybersecurity incident. And now we come to the point, cyber resilience. Cyber resilience is that how will you fight a cyber security crisis. Means you have to make yourself prepared always. Like it means the main points in this cyber resilience is that you should able to anticipate that what the threats should come. If any threat arrives, then you should be able to withstand it, and in the minimum time you are able to recover from it. And finally, whatever thing you have done, you should be able to learn from it, so that in near future you are not mean the same cyber incident is not able to affect you. Because we have seen this is the reality. Because suppose that a ransomware attack took place in United Kingdom, and after the recover from it, the next 10 days they again affected from the same virus. So you have to quickly learn from it and make necessary changes in your systems. And now we see that the what are the different impacts and impacts of cyber attack, and how we can recover from it. So mainly there are 3 phases of a cyber attack. Firstly, the cyber means a hacker or a cyber criminal will penetrate in your system. After penetration, then it will be detected by your defense mechanism, and after detection, after some time, you will start the recovery process. So we have 4 different scenarios, like the 4 First is the protective control, then the detective control, containment control, and recovery control. Means these are the different type of mechanism you have employed in your system organization to minimize the effect of cyber incident. So first we'll see that what the protective control will do. The protective control will do that it will shift the time lag between it will make it difficult to for the hacker to penetrate your system. So if the hacker is finding it difficult to attack your system, then it will be a good for the nation that it will be a little bit safe. Then we can see the detective controls are those controls where if a hacker has attacked your system, then it is easily found out. That is the detective control. Then containment control is that the recovery time is less, and the recovery control is that the time of initiation of recovery and improving the rate of recovery is minimized. So we can finally see that if all four controls are in your organization, then we can easily minimize the effect of a cyber attack. Now, how will we prevent a cyber? Suppose that now the cyber incident happened in your system, then how will we prevent it? So mainly there are many points. Firstly, we will see that the nomination of a chief information security officer. So every organization must have their own CISOs so that he is the nodal person to coordinate with the external agencies in case of any eventuality. Then you should have the information security policy, means you should have a SOP so that if an incident happens, then all your things are in proper place, there is no chaos, and whatever incident has happened, suppose that there is a ransomware attack on your organization, then if you have a SOP in place that in case of ransomware, what things you need to do, to whom you should contact. If everything is in proper place, then you can take out the SOP and perform accordingly, and how we'll back up things, everything should be written in the SOPs. Means the business continuity plan should be there in case of any downtime should be minimum, and you are easily recovering from all those incidents. Then there should be disaster recovery plan. Then security of information infrastructure, network appliances, isolation of critical networks, implementation of security guidelines, vendor risk management, and supply chain risk management. These are two newer concepts, but they should be always be taken care of, because we can make our organization very safe. We can have all the devices, we can have all the firewalls, all the security measures should be taken. But we know that we are always taking help of there are vendors, there are supply chains which provide our some support, which provide the means something which provide the items. So suppose that those organizations are compromised, then they have the access in our systems, so they can also become a mean to infect our system. So we should always be able to know that those vendors and supply chain are also properly protected for these cyber incidents. Then we should have background checks. Then we should have audit and assurance. This is very much important. Audit and assurance ensures that whatever your policies are in place, those are adequate, so that in case of any eventuality, those will work. And security training and awareness. Security training and awareness is also very important. We should know, every employee should know that what should be the simpler kind of threats, like the case of email phishing, social engineering. So if every employee is aware that a certain person can just mail you and ask for certain thing, or you can redirect to it to certain newer locations, so they should be aware that how to identify those phishing mails or any social engineering attack. So they should be made aware of. And finally, the coordination and incident information sharing. This is also important. In case of an eventuality, you should able to coordinate with the concerned authorities. And the cyber security assurance is a certain thing that in case of any eventuality, means how will you ensure that how your organization is means protected, how much your organization is protected. So we have divided into different levels, like level one means just basic level, means that your organization is just aware of what are the best IT security practices, and it has got the definitions and documents on all those. And the level 2 means that after knowing all those best practices, they have implemented the IT security best practices. So they have the implementation has been done. That means that it has achieved a level 2 assurance. Level 3 assurance means they have conducted the IT security postures verification, means they have done audit, security audit has been done. Then there is vulnerability assessment and penetration testing of their devices and infrastructure has been done by an independent third party. So those audit and VAPT tests have been done, means that you have achieved your level three of assurance level. And level 3 plus is that when the organization has implemented its own CCMP, cyber crisis management plan, which we are talking about. So we have seen that CCMP is not just only the SOPs in case of any eventuality, but is a combination of what the threat should come to your organization, how the threat will come, what should you do in case of eventuality, means all the SOPs and all those things. So comprehensive document. And then the level 4 plus and level 4 plus plus are there. Level 4 plus is that in level 4 plus, apart from the CCMPs, you are able to you are monitoring and mitigating the threats and vulnerability, means you are having those systems like IDS and IPS, then software information event management systems, so that you have certain infrastructure to monitor your traffic, that whatever the traffic is going, suppose that certain IP from IP, there are millions of requests coming to your system, so those can be found out by these including of this mechanism only, so you can block those IPs. Then level 4 plus is that you are able to sharing of information and mitigating of IT security threats. And level 4 plus plus is that you are able to predict that whatever in future, whatever threats could come to an organization. So crisis recognition, mitigation and management. So there are different level of threat as a country, if we categorize, because threat could become to a country level also. Level 4 means that entire nation is under attack, cyber attack, so we will call it a level 4 attack. So, and in those case, the different how to react in those cases, we have different reaction mechanism. And there can be level 3, level 2, level 1. Level 1 is just individual organization. So how will we major response in the cyber crisis management emergency response? So first is the containment of crisis. So we should always firstly try to contain that crisis. Second is that communication to all concerned. We are able to concern to the every concerned organization. If the threat is very much more, than we have to consult the law enforcement agencies. In every cyber incident case, we should consult the CERT-In. So different level coordination has to maintain. And the business continuity plan, so that the downtime is very much less. Detailed analysis of the crisis event, what are the why this event happened, and finally the learning. So what you learn from this crisis, so that in future such problem is not repeated. There can be two different approach, like actions within an organization and action beyond an organization. Within the organization are those the set of practices, SOPs you are able to do, and the action beyond organization, that how will you coordinate between the multiple agencies and stakeholders. And the action within the organization is that putting in place the systems and procedure, the SOPs will be taken out, and they will be, you have to act according to that. Then you have to ensure complete alignment with the necessary crisis management plan prepared by the certain committee. And the implementation of those crisis management plan means you have to verify those plans, that certain mock exercises are demonstrating compliance. So how can we work together? The different organization in the government sectors can take help of the impaneled organization by certain impaneled different organization for the audit part. So you can take help of those companies and get your organization audited. Then we are regularly issuing the alerts and advisories. So you could visit our website and you can see that what are the latest alerts and advisories are there. Then we have vulnerability notes, like different operating system like Windows, Apple's. There are different things are there. If certain vulnerabilities have been found, then we are also giving a list of that. Then we have one Cyber Swachhta Kendra. It is a botnet removal program. Botnet is something that, suppose that it is a malware which is residing in your computer, and a remote person is directing it to do certain malicious things. So we have developed in-house one software we can download in your system and find out whether you have some certain malware hidden somewhere, botnet hidden in your computer. And finally, we have the cyber threat intelligence exchange platform, where we exchange different ideas, what are the latest trends and all those things. Cyber crisis. A specific assistance in we providing the specific assistance in the deployment of these CCMP plans, and then we are conducting the cyber security exercises for the government organizations. Organization can also help certain to secure the cyberspace of India by duly reporting. So this is the main thing, that if a certain cyber incident happens in your organization, then you duly report to us, collaborate with us to keep a watch on cyberspace, and regularly participate in the certain training, workshop, exercises. There are different point of action for the sectoral CCMPs, like the different sector we talked about: defense sector, power sector, finance sector. We talked about different sector, and also those sector of different organizations are there. So every sector is also has to create its own CCMP. Means whatever threats persistent to, means specific to them, whatever threat vectors, whatever the SOPs, how the best practices could be implemented. So the CCMP is not like a single document, so which can be followed by anyone. It has to be prepared by own organization, because the requirement could be different for different organization. So basing on these points, you have to create your own CCMPs. And talking about the cybersecurity exercises, there are different level of cybersecurity exercises. Um, Operational exercises, functional exercises, hybrid exercises, cyber crisis tabletop exercises. The cyber crisis tabletop exercise is actually a discussion based exercises, where we talk about the different scenarios. Like we give a situation, suppose that a ransomware attack has happened on a computer, and those responsible persons who looks after those, I like suppose the IT person, a CISO person who looks after those things in those organization, they will respond that in those cases what they will do. So based on those discussion, we can, if there is certain shortcomings in their answers, then we can suggest. So it is a one-to-one discussion. So these are the functional exercises are those exercises where the real injects or something different things are provided. And I will talk about it. This is the security exercises where we are providing the different kind of injects over the email, and the different participants will respond to those things. And the tabletop I already talked. So these are the references. We are mainly concerned about the information security management plan requirements, ISO 27001 2013. So finally, thank you. And this is the mail ID of certain, where if certain incident happen in your organization, then you can mail to incident@certain.org.in. And if your government organization is interested to participate in our exercises, then you can mail us to exercises@cert-in.org.in. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. If anyone has some question, ask to sir.
Yes, sir. Please, if anyone some questions regarding this thing, please ask.
Okay. You can ask question answer session or chat window, sir.
Yes, please. Anyone please have any question, then you can type in the chat window. I will definitely reply.
Okay. Okay. I think there is no any question, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir. Okay, we take a 5-minute rest, sir. Okay.